switch into my Sligo accent for the rest of this. It was such a beautiful day to be out. We're really, really grateful to the weather gods today. On behalf of the Corncrake Traonach Life Project and the National Parks and Wildlife Service, you're all very welcome. Today is about celebrating something that's obviously very important to us, which are these remarkable little birds, which thankfully we still have here in West Donegal. Where I live in Roscommon, they're gone now for over 25 years and they've been wiped out in most of the country. Yet still in parts of Galway, Mayo and Donegal, we still have a population of them. This morning I went for a bit of a walk along the Rye River and I heard the first chip-chap of the year. Now that little bird, chip-chap, it's only about this big and it's after flying 6,000 or 8,000 kilometres back to Donegal from Africa. And right now, somewhere in sub-Saharan Africa, the corncrakes are leaving. They're leaving there, having spent the winter, and in the next 3 weeks they're going to arrive back home here to Donegal, which is remarkable really, to think that that little bird the size of a blackbird is going to arrive back to the very field that we were born in last year. And that sound, that wonderful sound of the corncrake, which I know if it keeps you awake at night maybe you don't think it's wonderful, but that sound has been lost from so many parts of this country, but it still persists in our landscape here today, and I think it's really important that we try and keep it and maintain it. And in the last 4 years our project has been really privileged to work with a huge amount of landowners and farmers all across the west of Ireland and particularly here in Donegal, not only to try and save this bird, but we've somehow managed to increase the numbers of this bird by almost 50% in the short lifetime of our project, which actually comes to an end this year. So we're now working to try and keep all the good work that we do going. So this sculpture, which has been created by the Main Shade and John Collins, and with the help of our local tidy towns as well, we could look at it as something that's here as a kind of a memorial in a way to a wonderful species that's been lost across the country. But I think what we really should look at it is as maybe a compass directing us forward into the future, not looking at something that has been lost, but something that we've actually gotten back, something that if we all work together we can actually restore it and bring it back to our children as well. I'm hoping that my own children, when they get to my age, will still be able to hear the corncrake across Ireland. So I'd like to invite John and Mary up to say a few words, or Tom and Mary to say a few words on behalf of the local tidy towns and the Main Shade. And when we're finished with a few speeches, we're going to have soup and a sandwich in the Strand, but we might get everyone together as well for a nice group photograph because we've got the weather for it, and it's always nice to kind of mark with a few nice photographs as well. So go to Míle Maith.
Agus Bantaro Ligaléir Cha agus Bóinam Buya has a horta Katrina as Ngaru agus Fasta. Katrina was she was the one who got in contact with the Tidy Towns originally about the sculpture, and as most of you are aware, we were working on a plan here. This is a biodiversity garden, and the Tidy Towns are lucky to have got it. It's in private ownership, but we're sort of maintaining it and looking after it for Judy Gallagher. So it's there'll be a sign going up there between the two seats, Garu, Judy Gallagher Biodiversity Garden, and giving information on how to create a biodiversity garden. But it's thanks to our local Main Shade, and they're under the expertise of Mick Gibson that they created this lovely stone sculpture. They were also the ones who made the seats, and thanks also to John Collins, who did the sculpture itself. So Tamich Fear we are going and Argent talent and the Canter and Shaw. And I think the sculpture is sort very appropriate. I grew up just across the road when this here was a green field, the car park included, and we would hear, when you talk about the Corncrake, we'd hear the Corncrake in the morning from our house over there. So it would have been around here, agus we has the Villigileir agus na súil go mé aithne neamhta pléisiir agus a bhaint as an éit galanta seo agus na Seoladh. So gur míle maith go Villigileir.
Gur mé go Máire agus Díomh Daoine agus Fáilte tá crowd mór an seo is just eáil. A lovely project has appeared again. This isn't our first project for the main shed. As she mentioned, Mick Gibson under our leadership, Mick we did those lovely seats there. This was a follow-up to it, and I just noticed the library up there as well. So the main shed is very much part and parcel of the community, and this was an ideal project under Niall and John and Katrina, of course. Now, in the beginning, Corncrake, we mightn't all have been in tune, let's say, with the mood. But it's good to hear that it's surviving and it's doing well, even if it is only the West Coast. So it's a lovely, interesting talk, John, and gets us all back on side, maybe to appreciate what we have. So listen, on behalf of the main shed, of which there are 9 or 10 of us here, which is great to see, we enjoyed the project. Thanks to everybody involved, Mary and everybody I've named, and enjoy the scenery and the soup and sandwiches. My chef.